You are intent with security. What are the procedures that are meant to be followed should someone be arrested?
No, before I go to the procedures, I want to be recorded that I don't agree with your moderation.
Why?
Somebody cannot talk twice when he has already created a litany of allegations and falsehoods, and you expect me to come here and I fold my hands and watch. So I disagree for somebody to speak twice when I'm here.
Thank you so much for your disagreement.
Yes.
Now you can continue with the question at hand.
To begin with, I'm happy that I'm with people who psychologically have been looking for.
Looking for them?
Yes. There are some people who are educated in this country, and they believe and they have a thinking that in 1962 we got total independence. And I fundamentally disagree with them. Because if we had got total independence in 1962, you shouldn't be having foreigners in trying up to now, to date, to destabilizing this country using other forces. Of course, through me, through I will not mention individuals, but they use Ugandans to destabilize their own state. The instabilities we have had in this country, much as they were affronted, but they were being implemented by Africans, but these are foreign interests. And up to now, foreign interest has never stood. I think we have heard about something called Panama and Venezuela. So colonialism have not gone, imperialism have not gone, and actually it has come in a subtle manner. So when you are seeing what is happening, some of us, we are sure that there is even a foreign hand in all of what is happening in Africa. Now, my friend, my long-term friend, Godba, mentioned about incompetent and rogue government. And in his heart of hearts, he knows, because he is not young and he's read, that we have had rogue governments in this country. And you know what they meant. So I know he's just throwing it there to attract sympathy and also account to some of his...
That being said, Fred, what are the procedures of arrest? No, you can't. He's still answering my question, which he hasn't yet been to. Procedures of arrest.
No.
Yeah.
This is a litany that I was writing. That's why I have a pen and a paper. And that's my training.
Why don't you state the right
that's my training.
Instead of now speaking on what I'm thinking?
Therefore, rights, democracy without responsibility is equal to anarchy. And I know some people who are sponsored would wish to see that kind of anarchy. And for us as a state, we have a responsibility to make sure that the state of Uganda does not collapse. The dramas of anarchy can be there, but we shall make sure, whether we are called rogues, to make sure that every citizen of this country enjoys his rights. But your rights should not interfere with Bamwine's rights. Okay. There's what we call public rights.
That you made clear even in your earlier submission. Talk to us about the procedures of arrest of a citizen of Uganda.
But you have told me to go to the procedures when he has mentioned that institutions of government were destroyed by the president, and I cannot take it. If there were no institutions, why is he talking about court? If there were no institutions, why is he talking about parliament?
So talk to us about the institution of security.
I must first remove that. I must first remove that litany, because Godwin is him being a lawyer. He's aware that nobody can be produced to court without a preferred charge. He's just committing class suicide, and some of us, I think we cannot take that. Now, I want to tell the country and those who are watching us that every activity of arrest and government is all intelligence-led. And you are asking the procedure of arrest and the standard. The procedure of arrest in this country and the standard of arrest and the And the decision where to be taken actually, it depends on the intelligence estimate. Between me and you don't know what kind of intelligence, because intelligence, first of all, is not shared. Secondly, it is not taken to court. It is only when it has been processed. That's when it can go to court. So, me, I will not talk about court, because it's a case in a court, but I'll talk about the procedure and standard of arrest that depends on the intelligence estimate on a suspect. Fortunately, in Uganda, according to the Constitution, every person arrested, not until he has pleaded guilty or court has pronounced, is still a suspect. Therefore, it's unpermissible for one to say Bamwine is a person of Manya, not an ordinary citizen. No, you don't know the kind of intelligence security had to apprehend a certain person. And I think, because the bottom line at the end of the day is to provide service. Which kind of service are we talking about now? The service of a stable Uganda. The service of a lawful Uganda.
Okay.
And I'm surprised lawyers here.
Speaking of service, Fred, there's also been an argument that the public service sector is being used to support and protect the regime. How do you speak of that?
It may be true, by the way. Now, after talking of service provided Uganda, a secure Uganda, not an incited Uganda, not an inflamed country, it is true an errant, an overzealous security officer can go overboard. That's very true. That's why, for instance, in the police, there's what they call police standard unit. If you can run report, that's why there is police tribunal and police court. If one has become an overzealous and went beyond the board. So, but in this country, apart from the sitting president, all of us as potential suspects.
Okay.
It is upon these lawyers. It is upon these lawyers to go to court and argue their case against their client, and if the judicial officers find their arguments have merit.
There's also a growing concern, Fred, of the mad relationship between police, judiciary, and prison that is leading to the pipeline that was being referred to by by Godpa earlier. In that regard, how would you respond that the state is using the police, the state is having the judiciary in its palms, and it's using the prisons all collaboratively to actually bring people the state feels is not happy with?
No, Godpa is not being honest. He knows those offices, as they have mentioned, everybody has a part of the dish. The police picks you, depending on some allegations. After picking you, it takes the file to the DPP. Now, if the DPP finds the no merit in the charge sheet, then the case, either he can direct further investigations, or even can drop the charges. And even these charges can be dropped at any stage. Now, when the two have finished, when the two have finished, then they take the file to court. Now, it is in a court, when it is in a court, then the police does not have any responsibility there. It is the DPP now who argues with the lawyers or the suspect until the judicial officer is convinced on which decision to take. By the way, even if the judicial officer takes a wrong decision in your view, it's not an alpha and omega. You can appeal at a higher level. You are talking of G1, you can go to High Court, you can go to Court of Appeal, you can go to, depending on your discomfortedness. But what I don't subscribe, according to my colleagues, they are forgetting that let it be executive, let it be parliament, let it be judiciary. All of us are providing a service to the majority of the citizens. Maybe it will take me to question who is a citizen, because I heard them speaking. If they arrest Bamwine and you say, oh, the citizens are, You mean Bamwine is 50 million Ugandans? If you arrest Bamwine, is one of the citizens.
All right.
But it does not mean that Bamwine has an
on that
absolute
note,
authority.
Staying with the court's law and the democratic space, Timothy, allow me to bring you in here. Sarah Birete has been remanded until the 21st of January, citing ongoing investigations. Now, in that regard, there are concerns, and